What's up, Southwest Kansas fans? We're here for episode number 4 of the Eye of the Storm. Today I'm joined by Frank the Tank Garcia, and we are gonna go over what was a disaster of a game. So Frank, start us off here.
Well, the beginning of the game was actually looking pretty good. Like the first quarter, uh, looked like a brand new team compared to the first game. You know, Taj was making good passes, and he was actually running the ball, and even truck somebody to get a first down, and everyone was losing their minds, like holy, like this guy's he's flipping it around, and then come the second quarter. I mean, we really didn't do nothing, and we one thing that really disappointed me about in the second quarter, towards the end, is we got the ball back with 30, I believe, like 32 seconds or something like that, and a timeout. That's more than enough time in indoor football to get down the field and score. We ran what I like to call like a half-assed run play, and then everyone just kind of started taking off to the sideline and into the locker room and let the clock run out. And everybody in my section and in the section next to me was like, we have time. Why are they not doing anything? We have a timeout. Like, that's more than enough time to get down the field and score. So many people were pissed off, for the lack of a better saying, about that, because it just shows, it kind of showed that, like, it was like, well, what's the point of trying to score? We're down already. So it's like, no, we have enough time. Get out there and score.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I think the offense is honestly slowing down the defense so much. They are putting the defense in horrible positions. It's so slow. We don't have tempo. So a lot of teams in the upper echelon teams in the CIF, right? Like you have Omaha, you have Sioux City, you have who else? Like Salina, right? They score on 1 to 3 plays. We took on those 2 scoring drives. We took 7 dump off passes to score. Like that, we can't win games like that. If you're like, even if you look at the other leagues, like IFL, you look at Frisco. Frisco is one of the best teams in the IFL. They played Green Bay this past weekend. They beat Green Bay by 46. It took Green Bay so many plays to score. They couldn't score quick. If you can't score quick, you're not going to win. And so, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, the guys are not trying. Like, I'm sure they're trying their best. I'm sure they are, But then there's certain guys out there that are not. And that's the reality of it. Like, I know when a guy tries, right? I know when a guy wants it, right? The guys who want to be here, it shows. The guys who don't, they don't. And, like, this is my message to all the free agents watching this, right? So when I try to hit you up, when Jeff tries to hit you up, and you don't respond, and you're out there begging for an opportunity on Facebook, like, that just is unprofessionalism at its best. If I hit you up and be like, oh, we're looking for a quarterback, like, hey, you want to come and play, like, don't not respond. At least respond and say, hey, I'm not interested, or hey, like, it doesn't do for me at this time, right? So, and what really made me upset, like you said, that it was 32-15. We had the ball with 40 seconds left, and coach honestly threw in the towel and he quit. He just quit. So there's no better way to put it. Unfortunately, I'm not calling coach a quitter. I know coach is anything but a quitter, but at that moment, coach quit, and we are not going to win any games the way we play. We're not. If we don't change stuff, but I can promise you, we are making changes. We brought in a new D lineman. We brought in a new safety who's been here before, Ethan Owens.
Yep.
Great guy. Solid dude. Cannot wait to have him back in Doge. And then we have we brought in 2 new quarterbacks. One of which is a guy who I found, and I'm really excited about. I'm not going to give it away yet, but I think he's going to be solid for us. And we have a new receiver. The problem is it takes time for these teams to gel, right? And I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. And this is no shot at any players, but when I see guys going on Facebook and trying to be like bad mouthing, I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? Seriously, it's like I understand you're frustrated. Look, there's some fans out there like y'all need to, tune it down a little bit on the guys, right? Like saying certain stuff that's not allowed, but at the same time, when you have players like going at fans going at players, but we're like destroying ourselves. We're thinking we're trying to help this organization. We're actually bringing it down with us. And the more we bring it down, the more this is only going to get worse and worse and worse. And then we're sitting at the end of the season, and who knows? In indoor football, one of the things I want to stress about indoor football, there's no rebuilding yet. So there's no such thing as we can go 0-10 this year, come back next year. No. If a team goes 0-10, they're not coming back next year. There's gonna be no team. Like the team won't exist anymore. That's how that works.
Definitely won't be back.
If you look at Rapid City, no disrespect to Rapid City, right? I know I talk a lot about you guys. I have nothing but respect for Coach Antoine. A lot of respect. But that place is an absolute royal mess. They are a mess. They cut 5 guys last week, and they re-signed all 5 of the guys who they cut 5 days later because they couldn't find anyone else.
Wow.
A player came out and wrote a long post, Demetrius Davis, about all the bad things they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need to make a choice. Do we want to look like them because they're falling? That team's not going to be around. That team most likely will not be around next year. They won't. So we have a choice to make, right? And a lot of our guys, like we have, Sidney Jones, right? Sidney's a guy from my neck of the woods, New England. Like that's awesome, man. He's down there in Kansas exploring new areas. And like that says a lot about him as a man. You know what I mean? Like he's willing to go out of his territory, go to another state, play football, and play freely, right? Like Sidney had a pretty good game last game. He was one of the only bright spots on the team. And honestly, like I'll be straight up, there's out of last week's game, there's probably 4 guys who deserve to stay on the team. I'm not going to say who those 4 guys are, but other than that, everyone's on the hot seat. Everyone is. And so my overall message to you guys before we bring on our next guest is stay patient, but also make sure when you criticize a player, you're wise about it. Because, man, like I'm telling you, you don't want to bark up the wrong tree. You really don't. We see what happens. We see what happens when you bark up the wrong tree. You have 2 guys that are getting suspended for the rest of the year. That's all I'll say on that. You want to make sure that you are wise with what you say. To players, to coaches. You don't want someone getting upset at you. You don't. Because you say something to X, Y, and Z, and you try to ask for an autograph or a photo after the game, like, no. Oh, my. That can end up in, yelling, screaming, fighting even. And we don't want to see that. We don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of players fighting fans and everything. So with that said, Frank, I want to thank you for your time tonight. I know it's been really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
And but stay up, man. Stay up. We got, like Deion Sanders said, we're coming. We are coming. We're gonna come around eventually. I've personally hit the panic button on the season, but I still think we have hope. As long as we have guys like Sidney Jones and who else, like Billy, like I think we're good. We're good. So I'm going to bring on Sidney right now. We're gonna take a short commercial break. So, y'all can digest what I just said, and we'll get right on. Thank you for your time tonight, Frank. Have a good rest of your night, man.
You too, man. Thank you.
And now we are going to go into commercial break.
This is Greg, and you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had a workout with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in. The Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert might be coming back to Miami. And we can see if he has a...
All right, so at this time, we bring on a very well-known face in the Dodge City community, Mr. Sidney Jones. Sidney, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, obviously, last week wasn't the best week. Talk about, the emotions of the game.
The emotions, those games are tough because, at some point you're just kind of angry and frustrated, but at the same time, you got to keep playing. Just not even a thing of just, playing to just play the game. You got to play for yourself. As football players, we don't like losing like that. And so we just try to, keep our heads going, try to make the best out of, those situations and see what was good and bad and trying to work on the good and, fix the bad as well.
Sure. So you're from New England. I'm from New England, right? Where did you attend college?
I went to Southern Connecticut State University.
Connecticut. So how did you end up in Dodge City? Did you, before the season, where did you want to sign originally, or with Dodge City or with the place?
At first I was originally with Omaha during camp. Things didn't go the way I expected them to out there, so I got cut. Coach George called me back and said, "You want to kind of run it back with us again?" Because last year I was here, and so I couldn't say no to the opportunity. And it feels good to be back in Dodge City. To be honest, just being back in somewhere I'm known. I know this area for as much as I can at this point in my career, and know the coaches, know the team, and just kind of know what the goal is here. So.
Sure. So in the off season, what do you do to keep what are you up to in the off season?
Like my working during the off season, what I do?
Yeah.
Just a lot of training. A 3-day three times a week I lift. Then I have to take 2 of those days for conditioning, or 3 of those days for conditioning. I take stamina, very seriously, and endurance in this league seriously, because you don't have a 53-man roster. You can only have 20 guys. So if I can work on my stamina and endurance to be able to stay in a game for longer than just a few plays, it helps the team, tremendously. So that's what I try to work on the most. Strength, it comes, with the territory. You're going to get strong, but, you got to work on those skills, technique-wise, speed-wise, pass rush moves and things of that matter. So those are my main focuses during the off season.
Sure. So obviously right now, how has practice been going? I know there's a lot of new guys in, a lot of new guys out. What is that looking like?
That, for right now, it's been doing, okay, doing well. We're just trying to make sure, guys understand the game. Some of these new guys, veterans in indoor games, some are new to it. So sometimes you got to break things down a little bit slower. You want to get them up to speed, but we're starting to look really good. It's starting to come along, and, I'm just ready to see what the future holds for us.
Sure. So obviously not to bring up a sore spot, but, on Facebook this past week, there was some tension between players and fans. Talk a little bit about what you personally expect out of the fans and how maybe they can, tune it down a little bit.
I can't be mad at fans for having, strong opinions. They've been having strong opinions on us for, the last couple of weeks, since the season started. So with that being said, you're going to feel how you feel, but we're out there to play, to win games. At the end of the day, we're here to entertain them as well. But, our mindset is not always going to be on the fans. We, too, are frustrated with how we're performing, and, we're trying to do our best to get better. And so all I can say is, we're going to give you all our all for the rest of the season. Don't worry. We're going to continue to work this out. We're going to continue to fight because, it may be it's still early. We still got a lot of football left to play, and we still got a season left. So we're going to work our hardest to continue to get these wins and get our first win and keep it going for the rest of the season.
Sure. So, after the season, do you have any goals of like moving up to maybe the IFL, the CFL, or the XFL?
I can't call it for right now. I'm just trying to play, our season currently, and we'll see what happens after. I would love to, move up and get more experience in different leagues and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm focused on doing this work here in Dodge City and getting to, playoffs and to a championship here in Dodge.
Yes, sir. And one more question before we wrap up. Obviously in the YouTube chat, your mom is one of your biggest supporters. We see her commenting. She watches the whole game.
Oh, my aunt. That's my aunt there. That's my aunt.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about what she means to you.
My family is probably my biggest support system I've got, and they've got me so far since I was a kid. I come from a large family, so we're talking about being little league, about 30 family members at my games, all the way to high school, college, and now here. That had some come down last season when we were out here, took the drive. So, family is always important. They're always watching my games. My dad, they always have a watch party at the house every weekend. So it's, that's what keeps me going because, they believe in me and it helps me believe in myself to, keep playing and knowing I could do this. So having that support system telling me I could do it makes me only go harder and makes me want to play better.
That's awesome. So I see you're wearing a shirt, Becker. Is that Becker College in like Massachusetts?
Oh, yeah. My cousin went there. So, yeah, gave me one of his shirts. So, yeah.
That was a great football program when they were around. But unfortunately, that school shut down completely. But no, Sydney, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. You're welcome back anytime. Have a good rest of the night. I know we're going to get this thing fixed and we're going to get it turned around. So.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Storm fans, don't worry. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep fighting. Trust me on that.
Yes, sir. Always. Have a good rest of the night, man.
You too.
With that said, I want to bring Frank back on. And I want you to just to react to what he just said. How do you feel? Oh, I think you're on mute.
I believe 100% what he said. They're out there and they're giving it their all. And sometimes it just doesn't come into play, I guess, whenever the game is going on. But there's some people that that deserve to be here. There's some people that don't. Sydney is 100% one of those people that deserves to be here. I can see that he's a leader on the field and stuff like that. But when it comes down to like stuff like not showing heart, it makes it difficult, as a fan, and like you mentioned earlier with the tension between players and the fans, that comes with the territory of sports. When your favorite team is doing good, yeah, you're gonna talk them up and like, oh, my team's the best, and then then there's also the downs when it comes to not playing very good. Starting your record with is not fun, and so yeah, people are going to talk negatively, and it's like they want to know where it starts. Is it a player? Is it the coach? Is it the ownership? You want to figure it out, and it's not that you're talking negatively, like you're turning your back on this team. You're frustrated. And I can tell everybody is frustrated. Nobody likes starting off at 0 and whatever. Right now we're at 0 and 2. We're at the bottom with Topeka and Rapid City. Nobody likes to start 0 and. But I feel like the reason a lot of the fans here are disappointed is because they know this team can play. They know these coaches can coach, and what we're getting right now, there's, like I said, there's ups and downs. We're on a down right now, and I truly believe that we can flip this team around, with better players and the signings that they've done recently. We finally got a kicker. Thank God we finally got a kicker. I guess this kid was from Seattle and he was supposed to come play last year, but I don't know exactly what happened with that. But I feel like that'll actually help out a lot. Instead of turning the ball over on fourth down, we could get 3 points like I've mentioned before. That was one of my biggest deals, is not having a kicker, because that's points that we could have on the board. Last Saturday, we scored 15 points and nothing in the second half. Nothing in the second half. If we're only putting up 15 points, who's to say that this Arlington non-league team, will, if we can't put up more than 15 points, I'm pretty sure that team can.
Yeah. Well, that team is also like, that team is not your typical semi-pro team too. Like, we may see them as a non-league game, and for us it's a charity game. But at the end of the day, that's a team with 7 Division I guys. That's a semi-professional football team with 7 Division I guys, 3 of which started all 4 years. They have a defensive back from USC on that team who started 3 years. So that's not your typical semi-pro team. That's a team that, I'm not going to say those guys are all on steroids, but I know for a fact they don't steroid test in semi-pro. So, with that being said, is that what we're going to get on Saturday when this team shows up? And, that's to be determined. All I know is we must not lose to a semi-pro team. We lose to a semi-pro team where we're screwed. I see you going to go.
That team, those guys are looking to move up, just like how these guys in the Champions Indoor Football League are looking to move up. So when they get the opportunity to play these guys, they're looking to show up and show out. They want to get their film. They want to show, even these teams that, like, hey, we're somebody. So they're looking for their next opportunity too. And I 100% believe that this Saturday they're going to try to give us a run for our money.
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure a lot of these players are watching like the groups, the indoor football groups on Facebook, and seeing oh, these fans are frustrated, these players are frustrated, we can use that to our advantage. They 100% can.
Yeah,
that's
100%. We're looking for positions, right? We're constantly trying to fill different positions on the football field, and I mean, they see that and they're like, "Oh, he needs a DB. I'm a DB." They're gonna ball out. They're gonna try to lock down because they know, like, for these guys, they're one. Like, I tell this story all the time, man. Like, this guy Jeremiah Parham, he's playing semi-pro football in Kansas. Got signed to the Wichita Force, and now he's on the 53-man roster of the Patriots. So you can literally, these guys are so close to their dreams. Some of them are. And that's why, like, for the guys who don't want to be here and the guys who are not going to, who are going to go on Facebook rants and all that, like, I'm not saying it's not all right to go on a Facebook rant, but, bro, stay in the film room, man. Just stay in the room, get your film in, talk later. We have, that's another thing. When we played Omaha, constant talking. Like, after plays, we have nothing to talk about. We lost by 53 points. There's nothing to talk about. Right now, we need to focus on getting better and better each week. And we're not. Right now, we got worse. Unfortunately, we got worse. But I truly believe we have new things in play, and we are going to be a better team this week. So, with that said, I want to thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for coming on, Frank. Always great having you. Let's go this weekend as we take on the Arlington Longhorns. It's going to be a great game. We better win by 40, but let's just focus on winning the game. Let's start with that, and then we can move on. So have a good rest of the night, Frank, and I will see you soon.
You too, Chris. Thanks.
Thank you for watching.